welcome to Ollie Board. I'm Saurav, your science faculty, and welcoming everyone in Ollie Board. And in this session, we are going to discuss very important chapter, that is base of the physics. You can say that motion, distance, and displacement. And in this chapter, we will talk about what is motion and what is trajectory, speed, time, acceleration, velocity, etc. Clear? So this is very important because this is the basic part. So try to understand each and every concept and make your note properly so that you can revise all these concepts. Okay. So let's start our class and please enjoy the session. So motion, distance and displacement. So here are two very important points, that a body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to its surrounding as time goes on. So when you can say that any body is in motion, let's say this is the road, okay, this is the road, and this is the car, and this car is moving in the forward direction, let's say in this direction, and a man is standing over there. He is looking at the car, okay, and he is not moving. Okay, this man is standing here, this man is standing here, and he is looking at the car, and he saw that this car is moving in this direction, this car is moving in this direction. Clear? So with respect to this man, this car is in motion, this car is in motion. Clear? So this is the definition of motion. A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to its surrounding. What is the surrounding here? This standing man, okay, and this car is changing its position with respect to the surrounding. So we can say that this car is in motion. Is it understood? Very basic definition of motion. Similarly, for the rest also, let's say some block is here. Okay, this is a some 5 kg block. Okay, in the road, uh, some 5 kg block on the road, and here is the man. Okay, here is the man. What this man sees basically, that this box is not moving. Okay, this box is still here, and this man is also standing here. This man is also standing here. So with respect to this man, this box is at rest, because who is the surrounding here? This man is the surrounding, and with respect to the surrounding, this box is not moving. So we can say that a body is said to be at rest if it does not change its position with the time or with respect to the surrounding. Then you can say that body is in rest. Clear? So this is the definition of motion and rest. Now what are the types of motion? What are the types of motion? First is rectilinear or translatory motion, and second one is rotational motion. First one is rectilinear or translatory motion, and second one is rotational motion. Very important. What is rectilinear or translatory motion? When a particle or a body moves along a straight line. Whenever a particle or a body just moves along a straight line, okay, then it is called as the rectilinear motion. Okay, but let's say some particle or a body moving like this, then you can say this is also a part of uh, first kind of motion, that is translatory motion. You can say this is the part of what? Translatory motion. Okay, basically for a small interval of time, they are still moving along a straight path. Okay, so curvilinear motion also, it is also the part of what? Rectilinear motion. Okay, curvilinear motion. And why here I have not included circular motion? The reason is that let's say some body is moving in moving like this. Okay, again I'm taking the previous example. Let's say some body is moving like this. Okay, so this is what? This is a curve path, or you can say curvilinear motion. So circular motion is nothing but circular motion. It is the special condition of curvilinear motion. Okay, when a body repeats its own path at a fixed interval of time or at a certain interval of time, let's say time is changing also. So if body is repeating its path again and again, then you can say that motion is circular motion. But that motion is nothing but it is a part of what? It is a part of curvilinear motion. It is a part of curvilinear motion. Is it understood? So that's why circular motion is a part of rectilinear or translatory motion. Clear? So there are two types of motion. First one we have covered just now, and another one is what? The second one is rotational motion. What is rotational motion? When a particle or a body revolves around its own axis, then we call that kind of motion rotational motion. Is it understood? When a particle or a body moves in circular path, its motion is circular motion. Clear? Like this. This body is moving in a circular path. What we call it? We call it circular motion. But when a body is spin about its own axis, here you can say this is a disc. Okay, this is a disc, and disc is revolving. Disc is revolving. Okay, or rotating, revolving, or you can say rotating around its own axis. This is what? This is the axis of the disc. This is the axis of the disc, and disc is rotating about its own axis, and this kind of motion is called as rotational motion. Clear? Body revolves around its own axis, or body spins around its own axis. Clear? So, and this axis is called axis of rotation. This axis is called axis of rotation. I hope this is understood to everybody. Clear? Now, what is vibrational or oscillatory motion? What is vibrational or oscillatory motion? When a body moves to and fro and back and forth repeatedly about a fixed point in a definite interval of time, it is said to be vibrational or oscillatory motion. The very nice example of oscillatory motion or vibrational motion is what? Spring mass system. Let's say this is a block of mass m, and this is a spring constant k. Let's say this is what mean position or a rest position, you can say. This is the rest position of the block, or you can say mean position. Okay, so now you have applied, let's say, force F here, and you moved the box towards this direction, okay, towards right direction by applying force F. Then what will happen? This spring will get what? Stretched. This spring will get stretched. Now let's say you release that box at this position. After stretching, you released that box at this position. What will happen? This block will start move to and fro here. Okay, this block will start moving to and fro like this. Okay, it will start moving to and fro. First it will go in this direction, again this block will go in this direction, again in this direction, again in this direction, and after some time this block will come to its rest position. Clear? So this is what? This is the example of vibrational motion. This is the example of vibrational motion. Clear? And similarly, oscillatory motion, that pendulum is a very nice example of oscillatory motion. This is a pivoting point. Okay, pendulum is pivoted here. Okay, the bob of the pendulum is pivoted here. This is a rope or a string, you can say, and this is the bob of the pendulum. This is the bob of the pendulum. Clear? This position is a rest position. Now you took the pendulum to this position and released from here. What will happen? This pendulum will come to this direction, again this will go here at this position, again law of gravity will apply here, and the gravity will try to pull it down again in this direction, and similarly the pendulum will oscillate like this. First it will go in this direction, then in this, and then in this, and like this, and after some time it will come to the rest position. It will come to the rest position. So what this kind of motion are? They are to and fro or back and forth kind of motion. Okay, about a fixed point. What is the fixed point? Their rest position. Their rest position are the fixed point. Okay, either they will go to or fro, or they will go back and forth towards it, about a fixed point. That's why we call them vibrational or oscillatory motion. I hope this is clear to everybody. Now we will talk about trajectory, distance and displacement. So what is trajectory? So basically trajectory is nothing, it is a path traveled by an object. Basically what is the you can say design of the path. Okay, that is called as trajectory. Let's say I am moving from point A to point B. Okay, and I'm taking these directions, okay, like this, and finally I reached point B. So whatever the figure visible to you here, this figure is nothing but it is trajectory. It is trajectory in simple words. The path traveled by an object during its motion is called trajectory. Which path you have taken? Like this, from this to this. So this figure basically, okay, the image of the path, okay, the path you have traveled basically, that is called as trajectory. Now, what is distance? The actual path length during the motion is called distance. Let's say from point A to point B, when you have traveled along this trajectory or along this path, you have covered how much distance? Let's say you have traveled 20 kilometer of distance. So what is the value of the distance? It is 20 kilometer, which means the actual path length during the motion you have covered. Clear? And what is displacement? Displacement is nothing but it is the shortest distance between these 2 points. Displacement is nothing but it is the shortest distance between 2 points B and A. Let's say this this straight line is the shortest distance, and that's why it is called displacement. Clear? So distance, displacement, and trajectory, all three are very different to each other. The straight or shortest distance between the initial and final position of the motion in a particular direction is called displacement. Very, very important. Very, very important. Clear? Now we will talk about speed, velocity, and acceleration. What is speed, what is velocity, and what is acceleration? So there is a very basic definition of speed which you have to remember, that the rate of change of distance, of an object with respect to time is known as speed. Okay, that is simply, you know that speed is equals to distance upon time, the distance you have covered and the time you have taken to cover that distance. So the distance upon time formula, it will be equal to the value of the speed. Clear? And there is another formula for average speed similar to the normal formula. Average speed is nothing but it is the total distance covered upon total time taken. It is the total distance covered upon total time taken. Clear? Let's say from A to B, uh, just a minute. Let's say you have covered some distance from A to B. Okay, and they are 150 kilometer apart. So from A to this point P1, let's say you have taken 3 hours. You have taken how many hours? 3 hours. From P1 to P2, let's say you have taken 8 hours, and from P2 to B point, let's say you have taken 4 hours to cover this 50 kilometer of journey. So what is the average speed here? Total distance cover. How much distance you have traveled in your journey? 150 kilometer. And what is the total time you have taken? That is 3 plus 8 plus 4. That is 15 hours. So what is your average speed during this journey, or what is the average speed of the entire journey? It is 10 kilometer per hour. So average speed is nothing, it is the total distance covered upon total time taken. Now what is velocity? The rate of change of displacement. Okay, velocity is a vector quantity. Velocity is a vector quantity because displacement, velocity is nothing but it is the change in the displacement, the rate of change of displacement of an object with respect to time, that is delta d by delta t. Delta d by delta t is velocity, and displacement is a vector quantity because displacement has a direction as well as magnitude. Displacement is nothing but it is the shortest distance between 2 points, and between A and B, this is the only possible shortest distance. So particularly here, displacement has some direction as well as magnitude. Let's say this distance is 10 kilometers. So what is vector quantity? The quantity which have direction as well as magnitude. So velocity is what? The rate of change of displacement. Okay, how much the displacement is changing with the time, that is the rate of change of displacement. So del d by del t is the formula for velocity. So if displacement is a vector quantity, then velocity will also be the vector quantity. Clear? So this is the definition of velocity. And what is acceleration? Acceleration is similar to the velocity. The rate of change of velocity here with respect to the time is called acceleration. That is, acceleration, it will be equal to del v by del t. Okay, acceleration is also a vector quantity and velocity is also a vector quantity. So acceleration is nothing but del v by del t. Is it understood? Let's say at time t1, let's say velocity is v1 here, and at time t2 here, velocity is v2 here. So what will be the acceleration? Change in velocity, that is v2 minus v1 upon change in time t2 minus t1. This is the value of what? This is the value of acceleration. The rate of change of velocity with respect to time is called acceleration of the object. Is it understood? Very important, very nice. And acceleration can be negative also, because that is called as retardation. Whenever you applied brake on the cars, what happens? Basically, that condition is known as retardation. Okay, so you are decreasing the value of the acceleration. Okay, so at that condition, you can say, you can take the acceleration negative also. Okay, so acceleration can be negative. Now, uniform and non-uniform motion. Uniform and non-uniform motion we will talk about. Very, very important. So, what is uniform motion? So, a body has a uniform motion if it travels equal distance in equal interval of time, no matter how small these time intervals may be. Very, very important and very, very basic definition, that a body travels or a particle travels equal distance in equal interval of time, no matter how small these time intervals may be. Such kind of motion is called as uniform motion. Here you can say the graph of uniform motion here. Okay, this is a straight line graph. This is time and this is what? Distance. Let's say you are covering 5 kilometer of distance in first 5 minutes. Okay, time is what? 5 minutes, and in this 5 minutes you have covered 5 kilometer of distance. Next in next 5 minutes, that is after 10 minutes, the distance you have covered is 10 kilometers. Similarly, in next 5 minutes, that is what? That is at 15 minutes. Here you have covered how much distance? 15 kilometer. 5, 10, and 15. So here you can see a uniformity. You are covering equal distance in equal interval of time. Okay, so this is the example of what? Uniform motion. But what is non-uniform motion? When a body has a non-uniform motion if it travels unequal distance in equal interval of time. Okay, when a body travels unequal distance, let's say in first 5 minutes, you have traveled how much distance? 5 kilometers. Again after 5 minutes, that is at the position of 10 minutes, only you have covered how much distance? 8 kilometers. Okay, again let's say after 5 minutes, that is at the point of 15 minutes, how much distance you have covered this time? Let's say 13 kilometers. Okay, so at the fixed interval of time, you are covering a different distance, or you are covering unequal distance. You travel unequal distance. So this kind of motion is called as non-uniform motion, because there is no uniformity. Okay, with time the distance you have traveled is changing continuously. Clear? So there are two kinds of motion here: uniform and non-uniform motion. Clear? Okay, now we will discuss about important points. What it is saying, that a particle may have, this is not move, this is may. Okay, a particle may have zero displacement and zero velocity, but non-zero distance and speed. What the point is saying, that let's say if some particle is moving, then it is possible that its displacement can be zero. This is also possible that its velocity can be zero, but this is not possible that its distance can also be zero, or its speed can also be zero. That is not possible. Okay, if some particle is moving, then already that particle is covering some distance, and if particle is covering some distance in fixed interval of time, then there should be some speed also. Clear? So displacement is equals to zero is possible, and the velocity is equals to zero is possible, but uh, non-zero distance and speed will be there. Is it understood? And what is the example of it? Example is circular motion. Okay, let's say this is some particle, okay, this is some particle or a body, it is moving along in this direction. So let's say when particles is in circular motion, after fixed interval of time, again this particle or this body will reach this position, that is his initial position. So what is displacement? Basically displacement is nothing but it is the shortest distance between 2 points. Now here you can say that body started from this point, that is its initial position, and after covering the whole distance of this circular path again reached his initial position or initial point. So what is the distance between the initial and final position? That is the shortest distance between the initial and final position. It is 0. It is 0. So which means displacement will be 0. And we know that velocity is nothing but it is a rate of change of displacement. What is velocity? Velocity is nothing but it is the rate of change of displacement. Clear? So if displacement is 0, then obviously velocity will also be equal to 0. Clear? Now let's say the circumference of this circular path is what? Let's say whatever it is, 10 kilometer. Okay, so this circumference is what? This circumference is nothing but it is the distance traveled by that particle. It is the distance traveled by that particle. So distance cannot be 0. And let's say this body has taken how much time? This body has taken 1 hour to travel this distance completely. The body has taken 1 hour to travel this whole circular distance completely. So what is the speed? What is the speed of this body? It is 10 by 1 hour. Okay, 10 kilometer is the distance. Speed is equal to distance upon time, and 1 hour the body is taking the time to cover this distance. So what is the speed of the body? That is 10 kilometer per hour is the speed of the body. Clear? So speed is also not 0, distance is also not 0, but displacement can be 0 and velocity can be 0 for any body if that body is in motion. And the example of that is circular motion, a very nice and very important example of it. Clear? Now what is the second point? The velocity and acceleration of a body may not necessarily be in the same direction and may not be 0 simultaneously. What it is saying? The velocity and acceleration of a body may not necessarily be in the same direction and may not be 0 simultaneously. Clear? See, here you can see that in the circular motion, when body performs circular motion, don't worry about this concept, you will get to know what are these motions basically. But just remember for now, in circular motion, for the circular motion you need what? You need centripetal acceleration always, and this centripetal acceleration always pointed towards the center of that circular path. Okay, what is the direction of that centripetal acceleration? It is always towards the center of that circular path. Okay, so whenever body performs a circular motion, okay, the direction of the acceleration is always towards the center, but the direction of the velocity is always tangential. The direction of the velocity is always tangential. Okay, so here you can see the angle between the velocity and acceleration is how much? It is 90 degree. The angle between the velocity and acceleration at each point is how much? It is 90 degree. So velocity and acceleration are not in the same direction. Okay, and it is also possible that may not be 0 simultaneously also. What is the condition? Let's say some body is moving with constant velocity. Okay, let's say some body is moving with constant velocity. What is the velocity here? 10 meter per second is the velocity of this object. Okay, or whatever you can say, this body. and this velocity is what? Constant. This velocity is constant, which means velocity is not changing with the time. So you know that what is the formula for acceleration? That is the rate of change of velocity is called as acceleration. That is v2 minus v1 upon t2 minus t1. And as I said, velocity is constant. That is with time, velocity is not changing, which means final velocity is also 10, initial velocity is also 10, and time, whatever you can take, let's say 2 minus 1, 2 hours and 1 hour. So what you will get? Acceleration you will get as 0 if velocity is constant. Okay, so this is also possible that they can't be 0 simultaneously. Okay, so these are the two very important points, and I hope you are able to understand these 2 points completely. Okay, so this is all for today, guys. Okay.